I think after 3 years of between being locked down and having to be home by 6 and then 10 o'clock, you know, we all are creatures of habit.
Like my phone, it was packed every night. Not like right now, it's different. It's empty. Just packed on the weekends, yeah.
Because during COVID, the people who were doing okay, they kitted out their home really nicely, right? So now, the idea of going out and standing in a crowded place where they might not get a seat, and then it might be a hassle to get a taxi afterward, it's a challenge.
John Prymmer of the Wanch, a music venue that's been around for over several decades, says people are slowly starting to stay out past midnight to listen to the bands. He adds that he's benefited by the pivot the business made during COVID of turning the place from a pure music venue and bar to a restaurant.
We have noticed more of a demographic switch because we're getting a lot of the young professionals that are coming in. And they come in for lunch, and a lot of times I get, "Oh, is that you on the wall?" I'm like, "Yeah." So, you know, and it's piqued a lot of guys' interest. A lot of times they're seeing that the bands are either all Chinese or they have Chinese members, and I think to them that's a bit of a shock also, because a lot of people here, when you associate music, you think of the Filipino community, you think of Westerners, and that's healthy for the music scene. It's very healthy, because we're reaching out to new people and new audiences.
He says more local bands are being formed, and this brings a new audience. At the Aftermath, owner Alicia Beale says there is a community of musicians and artists that gather there, and lots of new bands have formed during the pandemic.
Hong Kong has a very thriving independent music scene. Bands making great original music of all different genres. But people just don't know it. It's not in front of them.
Getting people to come out is the challenge. Alicia says she noticed the ticketed events by promoters were doing better than their free music nights, so she decided to experiment with ticketed theme nights at her venue.
Well, I think when you have a ticketed event, you put in more promotion, the word gets out more, and also people mark it down in their calendar. So we started these signature Aftermath events like our Punk Fest, and we're pushing our Battle of the Bands to introduce new bands to Hong Kong. And those were all ticket events that were actually really successful.
But even though these events do well, the run-up to them can be stressful, as people tend to book at the last minute, leaving promoters in the dark about whether the event will be a loss or a profit.
It's so nerve-wracking putting on events because of that. So you're like trying to keep a sense of what's the pace. Are we selling 1 ticket a day, 2 tickets a day? We haven't sold any tickets today. Oh no, like nobody's gonna come. And really for our Bad Boys of Asian Comedy, it was really like suddenly we'll sell 20 tickets. And then no tickets. Second to last day of the show, we sold the most tickets. Suddenly we sold out. And people were like, "Hey, can I get tickets? Can I get tickets?" And we're like, "No, we're sold out. Where were you guys like 3 weeks ago?"
Thank you very much.
Musician and promoter Chris B., who runs the Musicians Foundation charity, adds that the number of venues offering live music has dropped by about 20% post-COVID.
Post-COVID, it seems the government has been very, very quick to here you go, full business registration, full tax, full this and that, and forgetting that we had 3 years of hardship. Some people have not recovered. It's really tough, and it seems the government has just swept it under the carpet, and we move on.
We've lost a lot of venues that supported the local scene. The venues also need the support of the community. It's great to support the bands, and yes, you got to support the bands, but you also have to support the venues so we can all continue.
And while the venues that survived fight to stay open and host musicians, musicians are happy to finally be able to get back to full-time work. Kylie has her own band, but also freelances as a bassist. She has gigs about 4 times a week.
My team got a lot, around 10 to 15 people. We just we play pop song. We play sometimes we play jazz. Even some client they request Chinese opera.
But the hardship she endured during COVID is still fresh on her mind. With no work as a musician, she ran through most of her savings, even while working whatever part-time jobs she could get.
Even last year, September, my bank account just only 3,000. So every day, I just think, what can I do? I feel nervous. I worry my future. I sold a lot of my music instrument, just like some bass and keyboard. If I don't sell it, I cannot support my life.
She eventually got a certificate to teach music as well as a business degree and began teaching music regularly. Today, she is able to let go of this and work as a full-time musician, but has chosen not to.
I'm still teaching because that is my regular income. Now I feel more safety.
Kylie teaches music 4 days a week on top of being a musician. She says the fee for gigs hasn't changed pre-COVID. She's trying to rebuild her savings.
I want to charge more, but this is a business world. So many competition. So maybe next year, but this year I think I cannot increase my charge.
Charles Tidal, a guitarist, worked in food delivery during COVID. Like Kylie, he likes having the option to keep doing this anytime the gigs run low.
Yeah, it's a safety net, I guess, yeah. Just in case, will happen again, God forbid. Yes, I make more, but I don't feel like making more because of these debts and, back pays, all those dues. Pandemic time, yeah.
He says he has regular bar and club gigs during the week, at least 3 to 4. And he leaves weekends open for events like weddings and corporate functions because they pay more.
Better, like events and functions pays better on the weekends, 100% more.
So twice as much.
Yeah.
Chris says people and businesses have been contacting the charity to find musicians for their events. She says this is good since she can find a fair price for both parties.
It's fantastic because the charity can help set the fee so that the hotel thinks it's reasonable because it's from a charity and the musicians are earning a reasonable income.
And venues share the struggle to survive with musicians. Aftermath does a profit share with musicians who play at their venue.
For the free nights, it works on a bar split system where if we make money at the bar, we'll give you a percentage of that. For the ticket events, that's a bit different. The ticket money goes to the band.
Alicia says she's happy to see the band succeed and gain fans. She says it's important for the industry that bands get recognition. While many people go out to listen to bands based on the genre, whether it's 80s, rock, metal, or pop, it's better when bands gain a following.
How to help these bands who are really great, professional quality bands, excellent fun times. How do we get more people to follow them and to know them? Would it be so much better if people are like, hey, I've heard of this band before. I love Shanghai Mansion. I'm going to come down and I'm going to, just enjoy them because I know their music.
While the government is making moves to kickstart the night economy, a lesson from the Korean government's promotion of its own music and pop culture could be learned here.
I think the Korean government was exceptionally clever. They made it illegal to do counterfeiting and they put into place so that the people writing music would be paid for it, people performing would be paid for it. They looked after their creative artists and then put money into them so they could travel overseas with them. They supported their creative sector. And now, I think BTS alone is 1% of the Korean GDP. It does show, believing and investing in creativity can actually pay off. I hear our chief executive, John Lee, actually loves music and live performance. This is what I've been told. So I hope he gets to watch your show and realize that there is a melting pot of local nationalities, different nationalities.
And we could have more people coming here for our music scene. From KL, from Singapore, from Manila, from around Southeast Asia, and around the world. I think that would be great.